put it into to put some spices so that those people that are in there, if they can't pay it, when they go out, you now bring in new set of people. At the end of the day, I have to convince him to let him know that you can't see more than 600 per year, in which I don't even believe.
All right, we're still looking at the cost of raw materials in two sectors, the poultry farming sector as well as the construction and housing sector. And we have two guests here with us this morning to discuss that and how it has impacted the price of commodities in those sectors. We have Mr. Michael KUFORIJI. He is the secretary for the Poultry Association of Nigeria, the OGUN State chapter, and he's in the studio with us. We also have Mr. Wale Alao, who is also a construction expert, among other things. Now, you can drop us a comment on WhatsApp or Facebook. Our WhatsApp line is 0817-555-1067. And for Facebook, we are Splash FM 106.7. We'll take phone calls shortly. Do remember that I mentioned at the beginning of this program that we also wanted to talk about what's going on in the bakery business as well, but our efforts to get a guest to talk about that were truncated. However, I'm sure there's likely someone listening who is involved in that industry as well. So if you could tell us your real-time experiences, maybe in either of these sectors that we've spotlighted this morning, or the bakery business, or whatever business you're doing, tell us if indeed the figures released by NBS showing that inflation has declined consecutively from April, whether those figures actually match the true reality on ground. Now, Mr. Michael, let me come back to you. Now, in December, we're expecting to, in December is probably when the demand for poultry products will spike the most.
Correct.
There are already projections, for example, with gas now. LPG manufacturers and sellers are already projecting that the price of a 12.5 kilogram gas or filling one might rise to 10,000 naira by December. And as I said, the demand for poultry products spikes in December as well. Do you see, even as expensive as it is right now, do you see a further increase ahead of, December?
I wish I could say no, but sadly, the answer is yes. Because unless we have some form of intervention right now, like I said, it pays if the price of the produce goes down. It gets more people to eat it. Mm-hmm. And we know that, poultry produce is still the best source of protein. Many research has proven that when you consume just a single egg, you have almost your daily need for many major nutrients that the body needs to be in good shape. But if nothing changes, I do not see any further reduction, but instead it might actually still go further up. Because during December, even up till now, it will shock you to know that not everybody eats chicken in their homes. It's still not seen as an everyday meat source, and which it's very appalling, really, to know that in this current age and time that it's still not that affordable to everybody. It's meant to be an every man's food. When you go to where things work, and you see that they even try to curb, the consumption of, because people eat it freely. It's cheap. It's meant to be the cheapest, source of protein, But here, it's still seen as Christmas thing.
Yes.
And so you see that even those who cannot still afford it the way it is right now, they will try to struggle to buy. And you now see, demand around that, the used tide seasons still going higher. And if prices of inputs still remain what they are today, of course, production may not increase.
So if you were to have a sit down with, say, government agency or or maybe representatives of the federal government, what sort of intervention would the Poultry Association of Nigeria be requesting?
I've been waiting for that question. Thanks so much. What do we really need? What we really need right now are just those two items. Not just two, really, are major inputs. But those two are just top on the list. And what can they do for us is, what if government themselves, they really don't need to use government to import, but give us control effects. Just allow some indigenous companies. They've done it in the past. They did it in 2020, I think. and they allow 4 or 5 companies to import. And when you check those lists, all of them are non-Nigeria. They are not companies in Nigeria. Though eventually the produce came in, but who made the gains? More. It goes to them more. So let some indigenous allow them, give them FX at a control rate to import. So because there's a need to pushing the gap. There's a gap, and if that gap is not pushing right now, if it's not bridged right now, that's what is bringing this hype in price and is this looming danger of total collapse of the industry. So what we really need is more supply of the produce. Any other government can help us to do that. Around they said they have some strategic reserves, which in quote and unquote, I'm not sure whether when are they going to use them? If it's not now, so let them push out. We need to force the prices of inputs down so that we can go to farm and produce reasonably well. That's number one. Number two, they need to increase, improve on the security architecture of the country, really, because all these things we are talking about, we can't have a poultry farm in the township. So we are the exposed danger. We are the what do you call
most
it?
vulnerable.
We are the most vulnerable species.
Kidnappings.
Because farms are sited in the rural sites, so that we need expanse of land.
Right.
We don't want to be a danger. We don't want to be causing. There's no how a poultry farm will smell. You have some kind of smell coming out from your poultry. So we set ourselves away from civilization.
You're isolated.
We're isolated. So we need to be secured. We really shouldn't be our own police. We'll be part of the policing effort. We'll support the police. But let government be in the forefront of securing us. Let them encourage more farms to go to their farms. Let them take it as a business.
Right.
And all this our government's effort to do something, all these their gimmicks about, all the monetary policies and the rest. I keep saying that. It's not going to be any impact when we don't have increased production.
Local production.
Local production. So all this, try to do the yen direct, try to avoid, go to import markets, export markets, avoiding the dollar rate, try something with China. China will up their game, they will adjust they will base their pricing based on your level of productivity. So all these things will not work until the country start producing. So whatever it will take government to get us to produce and produce at a good cost, that's the real thing we need to focus on.
Right.
And that will tackle menace of insecurity, give people work to do. Let those jobs be productive. Let people not to be. A lot of our youth are underemployed. Some are employed, but they are underemployed. So create jobs by giving us security. Let's have power. In my farm, sorry, I know you want to pause me, but in my farm,
it's gone.
I've been on for almost, like I said, more than 15 years. I don't have public power. It's there. I can easily tap it in. But the time I tried to do that for my feed mill, I lost almost all my machines. So I just told them, please come and disconnect. So give us good power. Give us security.
Good roads?
Well, we can manage without, we need roads. But I have my own local government. I have about 3 kilometers to my farm. I'm the one that always champion, we grade it every year. We buy materials, we put. The government will not do it, or we'll join them. But let them be in the forefront. Yeah, give us road if they can, but let there be security first. But when an environment is not secure, investors will run away anyway, and it's already happening.
Okay, well, the DG of your association, the Poultry Association of Nigeria, not only did he say that up to 25 million jobs are at risk if the government doesn't make interventions, he also said if a collapse happens, it is a big market for other countries because we have the population. And this is against the backdrop of the UK government actually announcing temporary visas for 5,500 poultry workers due to a scarcity of poultry workers in the UK. So that's also worth juxtaposing. Now, we'd like to bring you in on this conversation. As I said, if you have personal experience with any of these sectors, or perhaps your own sector, where you've seen a rise in cost of purchasing raw materials, do let us know. We mentioned that for 5 months now, the MBS has consistently reported a decline in inflation. And we're trying to gauge if that is actually what obtains when you go to the markets. 0817-444-1067, 0817-555-1067, 0704-400-1067. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What is your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Martin from Bangkok.
All right, go ahead, please.
Yes, I went to fishery production. So I really introduced to my colleagues to production. So we are facing the same thing in the market. Now, the price that we are buying our product, because we are using
your radio set seems to be on. If you could switch it off so that we can have a clearer conversation.
So, thank you. I'm not fit.
We're sorry. We're sorry we have to let you go. Please, when you call in, please turn down the volume on your radio set completely or switch it off so that we won't be hearing that our back sound. It's not very good.
Absolutely. It's to enable us hear you better. Not just us, but everyone else who is listening. 0817-444-1067, 0817-555-1067, and 0704-400-1067. Our guests this morning have been Mr. Michael KUFORIJI, who is the Secretary, OGUN State Chapter of Poultry Association of Nigeria, as well as Mr. Wale Alao, who is a construction expert. Good morning.
Hello. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Oluwato Global Shinobi, calling from Diaba.
All right, so Oluwatobi, talk to us, please.
Yeah. I'm a member of the PANORAMA, the OGUN State chapter. Yeah, I must be sincere with you. There is high inflation of prices as far as input is concerned. And really it has led to closing down some firms, which has rendered some people unemployed as we are speaking now. Because by the time you get to the shop, they tell you a feed is 5,000 naira today. You get there the following day, 5,003. By the time you put everything together, you see that you're not gaining anything at the end of the day. That is why people are now closing down. And even people you employ to work with you, you just have to release them because there's no way to pay them. So I believe probably the government can just help us in figuring out some things, at least just for us to continue to run the farm and the like that. And based on the question you asked, is it possible that maybe at the end of, by December, the price of chicken or whatever might go up? It's evident. Because nobody wants to sell, by the time you buy something of 2,000 naira, it's not possible for you to sell 1,500. You are not running a charity foundation. And there's a limit at which you can sell. By the time it gets, or people will run away, they will not buy. I must be sincere with you. Maybe not every family will be able to afford chicken this time around. Maybe they will go for all this mama that we used to soak. Maybe that's what a family will be eating during December period, when they can't afford the chicken. So that's just the country we find ourselves. Not only the poultry aspect. There are other sectors you just hear the dollar rate is high, there are no security. Even go to the snailry aspect of agriculture. The majority of the farmers that go to the farm to harvest snails, they are being kidnapped, they are being killed. So there's nobody to go to the farm to work anymore.
Thank you.
So that's just it, please.
Thank you, Oluwatobi, for your contribution. It's much appreciated. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Afolabi Tajuddin, thank you for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yes. I don't know if our discussant is still online.
Yes, they're still here, both of them.
Okay. So my question is just is it possible for you, or what steps have they taken to talk to the state government and see a possibility of them having a bulk purchase if they already have these things, these inputs in stock, and they can buy from the government? If the government can buy in bulk, like getting a warehouse for the association, buy in bulk, then they purchase from there at a stable price, not at an inflated price this time around. Because based on this rate of inflation on daily basis, I think the government can be able to subsidize for them. They should be able to subsidize for them because government is now focusing on 2023 and the like. So these are immediate, what I believe can be immediate solution to this kind of thing.
All right, thank you, Afolabi, for your Tajuddin for your contribution. Our guest will answer the question, but let's maybe try to take all the calls because we don't have a lot of time. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Larry is my name. Larry Ayenyu is my name. I'm calling from Lagos.
All right, Larry, go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, I want to make a comment on the poultry industry. Actually, I work with a company that supplies some of these inputs, micronutrients that are needed to make the feed for these birds. And I can tell you categorically that from our own end, even cost of inputs have gone up astronomically, forcing some of those farms to, go out of business. I'm not even going to find security yet. Forcing them to go out of business. As a matter of fact, the market has shrunk on our own end too. There is no how we could, there is no how we could make more sales. Companies can no longer survive. Some companies can no longer survive the situation, forcing them to lay off staff. So how are we going to survive? If I get to lose my job, then am I going to, get another job in this present day Nigeria? The government needs to really come in and some of us can no longer visit those farms to market some of our products because of insecurity. I know of our colleagues around over there, I used to frequent those sites at some point before I was transferred to another location. And personally speaking, I know sometimes some of my colleagues were just, just escaped kidnapping. We can't continue like this. We can't continue like this. It's really a hard time for farmers. I can tell you, many farms were shut down this year. I can tell you that's why many farms right now. So I present
all right.
Larry, we feel your pain. We can hear it audibly. Thank you
much.
so much for your contribution.
From Lagos, we appreciate.
All the way from Lagos, we do appreciate. Now, we have to go on a commercial break pretty soon, but I'd like Mr. KUFORIJI to answer the question posed by Tajuddin.
Yeah.
Quickly, if you can.
I'll try. Thanks so much. He asked a question that have we gone to the government? And the answer is yes, we've gone to the government, but we've not really gotten the government's head. I love to compare us to where things work normal. A group like us, Poultry in Nigeria, we should have the eyes and the ears of the top man on the seat of power. We've been trying to see our governor for months, running to years now. I've not sat with him on one-on-one, and I don't think it's right. So what I'm using this million to
What about the commissioner for?
We've been sitting with the commissioner. He's been doing so well. Okay. But I can tell you that you need the decision maker at this point. I see a low-hanging fruit for the government to create employment because there's no volume of grains produced in Ogun State that will be enough to cater for a quarter of our use. So I see this anchor borrower scheme, this partnership thing that is waiting to be harnessed. So all we need to do is just sit together with those who actually call shots and let's make it work. We can help ourselves by empowering more local maize producers who can also grow for us, soya. And they will be guaranteed a minimum returns on their efforts,
right.
And we'll at least we'll solve like half or quarter of this problem. But we have not gotten to the jugular. We need to get to the man who can actually let's make it work.
Okay.
Oh, we need to bring in equipment, empower some more farmers, let us sign some MOUs, and we are good to go.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking with us. Both our guests, Mr. Michael KUFORIJI, Secretary, Poultry Association of Nigeria, the Ogun State chapter. And thank you, Mr. Wale Alao, as well, a construction and housing expert, for speaking with us on Panorama this morning. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We're going to go on a commercial break. When we come back, we'll take your calls. We see them coming, but in the meantime, you can direct your comments to WhatsApp 0817-555-1067 or Facebook Splash FM 106.7. Panorama will return in a few minutes.
Panorama.
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 Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
We educate. That's why we are respected. We inform. That's why we are loved. More music. We are the best. The Integrity Station. Splash.
106.7.
ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ kì í ṣe oníṣẹ́ aláṣeyọrí classy home and property limited tó ṣe ọbí òṣùmàrè pẹ̀lú ìdá 50% discount fún àwọn ènìyàn 50 sábà kọ́kọ́ bá wọn ná nínú ilẹ̀ wọn ìkèrèkú ìdán precious estate 160,000 ní báyìí 80,000 lẹ́sàn lórí plot kan ilẹ̀ randa golden estate 160,000 lòun náà báyìí 80,000 lẹ́sàn ọ̀dẹ́dá prince estate 160,000 80,000 lòun náà bá ọ̀yádàm blessed estate 160,000 lòun náà báyìí 80,000 lẹ́sàn àǹfààní ìdá 50 fún àwọn èèyàn 50 ní o bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ní nílé oko òṣèlè àgbẹ̀sẹ̀ village àti alábàtà 40,000 naira ní plot kan bẹ́ẹ̀ bára plot mẹ́ta ẹ ó gba ìlàjì sí bó sì jẹ́ éèkà kan lẹ́ra odidi kan lẹ́gbà sí 4 Moshood Abiola way olùrànṣogo nílé gogoro daily express furniture gan ni wọ́n wà lábẹ́òkúta 08033086557 08033086557 ogúnjọ́ oṣù kẹwàá tá a wà yìí gan láǹfààní yóò pẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ dáadáa pẹ̀lú wa dandan ni kẹ́ ẹ ní àṣeyọrí ayọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ tiwa.
Foodco is here again. Foodco is here again. Everybody loves it. La 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 la.
You sef don catch the Foodco fever.
Who no like better thing? Where I go shop for my needs still get correct food and hang out with my G's under one roof to celebrate the opening of Foodco Abeokuta at Akinolugbade Social Center, 8th of October. Foodco dey give us deals wey sweet our belle. Spend 10,000 naira and get 1,000 naira meal free. Plus free arcade center ticket, ogbonge sun fresh bread, and 1 liter Coke at 499 naira 99 kobo. Milo 450 gram refill at 959 naira 99 kobo. 3 crowns evaporated milk 160 gram at 189 naira 99 kobo. Indomie onion chicken flavor 70 gram. Binatun sandwich toaster ST 801 9,999 naira 99 kobo. Dewu blender DBL 819 10,999 naira 99 kobo. No forget, na the 8th of October Foodco go land for Abeokuta for Akinolugbade Social Center. Promo runs 8th October to 17th October 2021. Terms and condition applies.
Chief Tenant tó ti tó gẹ́sà ní wọ̀ àǹfààní ti ṣí sílẹ̀ tó bá fẹ́ kọ́lé tààrà ṣàṣà kó má bọ̀ ní IAS Unique Home and Property ló ti kórè dé ilé kíkọ́ dìrọ̀rùn ó yá ẹ wá rálẹ̀ mega promo lọ lọ́wọ́ makọ́tì ikún Nàìjíríà is 61 ṣe bí ẹ ti mọ̀ IAS 61 days mega promo ọjọ́ ti pẹ́ ta ti talẹ̀ ta ti ń talẹ̀ garanti wà lórí IAS òtítọ́ ni wọ́n sọ.
Àǹfààní lágbàá ní fẹ̀yìn náà láti wá jẹ àǹfààní yẹn ní kíákíá. Ilẹ̀ wa mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta ta títà ní 200,000 naira tẹ́lẹ̀ lè máa wá rà ní 120,000 naira. Àwọn ilẹ̀ bíi Honeydrop Garden Ọlọ́runṣògo Mọ̀wúkọ́ Treasure Garden Òwú Ìdígbà Ọ̀pẹ́jì Road Country Garden Ayétòrò Road kàn sí iléeṣẹ́ IAS tó bá súnmọ́ ẹ jùlọ 09033773189. Ọjọ́ kẹẹ̀ẹ́dógún oṣù yìí làǹfààní yẹn máa dópin.
lẹ́nìkan bá ń bi mí ohun tí mo máa ṣe tí bá jowó tó tówó gidi mo ronú mílíọ̀nù kan náírà àbí ìyẹn ò tó nǹkan kan rárá bóyá pẹ̀lú bíi 5 tàbí 10 mo lè.
mú àlárèrè rẹ ṣẹ pẹ̀lú ìpolongo Airtel Recharge and Blow níbi tí gbogbo èèyàn ti jẹ́ olúborí ra owó ìpè dójú àmì lọ́sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ kó o sì gbádùn ẹ̀bùn owó tó tó 100 mílíọ̀nù náírà. ìpolongo yìí ń wá sópin ní oṣù December ọdún 2021 fún àlàyé síwájú sí tẹ *444*4#.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
àǹfààní aláìlẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ sì ń tẹ̀síwájú o independent promo fáwọn àgbẹ̀ abisuyi olóko bọ̀kùà lórí ilẹ̀ oko tẹ́ bára níléeṣẹ́ APR ilẹ̀ oko àpẹ́sìn àti orílẹ̀ ìlúgùn plọ̀tì kan 30,000 naira ní bó sì jẹ́ plọ̀tì mẹ́ta lẹ́ra ẹ láǹfààní láti gba ìdajì sí bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti ra éèkà odidi plọ̀tì kan ni yóò tẹ̀lé lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni ilẹ̀ oko ṣíẹ̀lẹ̀ àti alábàtà bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti ra plọ̀tì kan 40,000 naira plọ̀tì mẹ́ta tẹ́ bára ń bẹ̀ ẹ láǹfààní láti gba ìdajì sí bẹ́ẹ̀ bá sì ti ra éèkà odidi ilẹ̀ náà ni ó tẹ̀lé pápánbárì ní àwọn olókoòwò tí wọ́n ṣe tán láti ra èrè oko yín bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni wọ́n yẹlẹ̀ yín wò lórí ohun ọ̀gbìn tó bá bá ilẹ̀ yín mu ABR gangan lọ̀rẹ́ àgbẹ̀ abisuyi olóko bọ̀kùà 39 LTA road àgbẹ̀ Abẹ́òkúta 08033706236 08033706236 ogúnjọ́ oṣù kẹwàá tá a wà yìí gan láǹfààní yóò pẹ́ ABR ọ̀rẹ́ àgbẹ̀ tó mọ̀ ń tàgbẹ̀ ń fẹ́.
Do you know many companies and organizations have been facing issues on electricity, which has been affecting their income? Now listen, we don't have to worry ourselves again when we have the Meccano generator distributor around us. Auto Castle Limited is right here in Abeokuta, where you can get all Meccano products and their equipment at affordable prices. You don't need to go far to get Meccano generator spare parts, even to service your generators. Auto Castle Limited is the talk of the town when it comes to quality Meccano generator. Get your diesel and gas generator YORC now at Auto Castle Limited. You can get 15 kVA to 2,500 kVA. Also, you can get packets from 9 kVA to 5,000 kVA. Steel fabrication, GLE motors, Hyundai, forklift, breaker, and lots more. Visit Auto Castle Limited today, situated at 62 Olorun Shogwabiola Abeokuta, or call 081 3001 4871 or 0805 332 3036. Auto Castle Limited.
Panorama.
Panorama. Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
We're back on Panorama on the Integrity Station, Splash 106.7 FM. If you joined us for the first segment, you will know that we are going to segue into the second segment, our newspaper review segment of the show, which we call From the Pages. But we did vow to take some more calls, seeing as we had time constraints earlier on, as well as read your comments on WhatsApp and Facebook. If you'd like to call us, the number is 0817-444-1067, 0704-400-1067, 0817-555-1067. If you'd like to react to what was said by both our guests, who were from the poultry sector as well as the housing sector, as they spoke about the rising cost of raw materials needed, which of course contributes to the high prices of the end products, which you know to be houses or poultry products. And we also try to look at whether the figures released by the National Bureau of Statistics is in harmony with what actually obtains at the market. So that was our issue of the day. And we had some people call and talk about their experience. So if you are undergoing any of these experiences as well, or you'd simply like to comment on what you heard, you can call us up. In the meantime, let's get to comments left on Facebook and WhatsApp platforms. Goiga, take us through Facebook, maybe?
On Facebook, we have the following messages. The first one is from Adetayo Ademola Adeniran. Said, good morning, Lola and Mr. Goiga. The cost of things in the country, especially what to put on the table for your family today, is not easy and very terrible. The chickens we used to buy 2,500 naira is now 7,000. Not only these, but all food items. The farmers cannot go to farm again without security. This is unfortunate. Engineer Tayo Adeniran from Abeokuta. A lot of well done and keep up the good job. Here as well, Godwin Adeoniye, Oluwakemi Dari KUFORIJI, Ayalugu, Emeka James, Gbenga Olumuyiwa, Bukola Olushada, Shagun Oguns. We see your message. Thank you. Also, Santerian Akinla Oluwarantimi said, good morning. Security architecture in this country needs divine intervention. God help us. Akinla Yusuf said, good morning, Splash FM. We need to remind ourselves, most especially Nigerian youths, that Bibi Naija is over and we need to get our PVCs as elections are not won on social media. Well, that will take me then to Facebook. Tayo Adeniran is here again and he said, good morning, lovely people in the studio. Like my brother said, he's not lying. You cannot go to the farm without security anymore. We have farm doing presently as a group today. We spend nothing less than 10,000 naira per trip, and we do this 2 or 3 times a week. We contribute this within ourselves. Fertilizers and other materials are not easy to buy in the market again, and we have invested a lot on the project since last week. Now we couldn't go to the farm because of the money paid for security. Lola, honestly, it is just unfortunate. Engineer Tayo Adeniran, thank you very much. To Rakat Abiodun said, exchange rate, insecurity, and a flip-flop economic policy of this government is causing a lot of problems to industrialists. Government must be consistent in policy formulation, and enough of this trial by error economic policy. Just yesterday, Professor Shimbajo was asking the CBN boss to devalue the naira. Can you just imagine a government working at cross purpose? So unless government is serious about policy formulation, there is no end in sight. Rakat Abdulhamid Abiodun, thank you very much for your contribution. We still have more messages on WhatsApp. Let me run through. Kinde Gabriel also has a message here for us. He said, good morning. Personally, I don't really believe in all these paperwork statistics because some of them don't really reflect the total reality. As a citizen in this country, we don't really need any expert analysis to know we are really facing difficult situation in every business, my sector inclusive. You didn't mention what sector. He said Nigerians, we are peace-loving, enduring people. All we just ask is enabling environment and good policies. People are going through a lot. Kinde Gabriel from Abeokuta. Okay, system. Okay, good morning, Lola. Boygan, Lola. We hinge the looming food crisis on two factors: the producers/middlemen and the presidency. Until insecurity is tackled headlong by serious administration or presidency and put in bracket, not the Buhari-led government, food crisis is imminent. Secondly, many of the producers of this staple food and products sometimes deliberately inflate the prices of the product at every slight opportunity, even when the economic living of the masses isn't improving. They also have to be sensible and considerate. So thanks. Irebami from Ajebo. Two more. Olajuwon said, I don't see any succor in sight from this Buhari government to ameliorate poverty and increase productivity, with a self-appraisal of doing well than the former president, Goodluck Jonathan administration, as said by Femi Adesina. A man that refused to face reality will live in fool's paradise. There are different voices of reason telling this Buhari government that things are not going fine and that Nigerians are suffering. But those sycophants that surround this government keep on feeding him with lie and he's swimming in it as reality. He should hear those voices of reason and do away with those feeding him with lies so as not to leave the government a failure. But I doubt this government will listen. Hence, I cannot wait for this man, Buhari, to leave. Come 2023, for another God-approved person to come into administration. Olajuwon from Itaoshi, talking about sycophancy there. The last one, good morning, Lola and Boyega. Our policymakers are a major part of the problem of this administration. CBN stopping from M for maize importation was ill-conceived. According to the CBN, it will increase local production in an environment where there is obvious security challenges and farmers can no longer access their farms. It will safeguard rural livelihood and increase jobs. Are there still people in our rural areas? If most farm in Yewa is deserted, I wonder what is happening up north. Well, you didn't include your name in that message, but please, subsequent messages, please include your name so that we can read it out as well. Thank you very much, everyone, for your contributions.
And now we take you through the newspapers. I have The Punch.
And I have with me the Nigerian Tribune newspaper.
Now, The Punch's major headline appears to be States lament deductions, demand probe, subsidy rises to 8.2 billion naira daily. Fuel subsidy opaque, NNPC acts as government on its own, says Commissioners Forum. States helpless over deductions, federal government a dictator. This is from the Delta Commissioner. Federal government stopped residency payment after strike suspension. This is an allegation by NARD. Lagos nurses kick against 20,000 naira demand for retirement celebration. Ondo, evacuated destitute, area boys to be kept for monitoring. Lassa fever kills 77 in Edo, Ondo, others 356 hospitalized. On Sit at Home, gunshots rock Anambra, guard killed in Enugu, Imo grounded. 250 investors lament as 20 billion naira agro-business scheme promoted by Nollywood actors collapses. ICPC arraigns ex-presidential aide Obono Obla for certificate forgery. Work begins on 16.39 trillion naira budget. Senate panel gets document today. Prelate proposes 25,000 naira largesse for repentant Boko Haram bandits. Experts differ as Oshibajo says exchange rates artificially low. And finally, on the budget, federal government allocates 4.2 billion naira to moribund Ajaokuta Steel, and that's the front page of the Punch.
Before I run through, I'll just take this message on Facebook. I missed it earlier. Now, Joseph, and your colleague, inflation rate is high, and all sectors is experiencing it. I'm into logistics business. If he went to Lagos last week to buy his car engine, he bought the Tokumbo. That's the fairly used, I believe, for 140,000 naira. Just 5 days after, a colleague too went to the same shop to buy his own engine, and he bought for 176,000. So there is our inflation rate. God Almighty will deliver us in this country we find ourselves. God bless you. You are doing a good job. Thank you very much. Napoleon Joseph. Now to the front page of Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Naira exchange rate artificially low. Oshibajo. With 3 riders, says CBN competing with MDAs in fiscal terms. Buhari okays 13.3 billion naira for takeoff of community policing. Directs military to establish complex for local arms production. Nigeria's economic resurgence, learning from the African experience. Akinwumi Adesina, who was a guest speaker at the midterm ministerial performance review retreat. It aired on TV yesterday for as many that followed. International Girl Child Day. Kano, Bauchi governors vacate seats for 14-year-olds. Suspected cultists kill prophet father in Akwa Ibom. Police warn against NSAS commemoration protest in Lagos, Osun. Commercial boss runs over 3 school children of same family in Osun. This is a rather sad story. Or your APC members divided over zoning formula may reconsider Lawakala Council recommendation. Pandora documents confiscates my property. $500 million is traced to me. That's Peter Obi. Why I ordered Undubusi Kanu's corpse not to be released for burial, according to the judge. These are the headlines you find on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper today.
And some more from the Premium Times website. We have here whereabouts of Zamfara monarch unknown 30 days after abduction. EFCC, why we are implementing asset declaration for bank executive. And more from the Premium Times newspaper here. If you remember when we did justice for Peju and Lara, there's a development or new development in Peju Boma's story. Pathologist says severe accumulation of blood in abdomen caused death. Doesn't say anything here whether the hospital was exonerated or not, but maybe in the details of the story. Well, Buhari approves 13.3 billion naira for takeoff of community policing initiative. On alleged 6.9 billion naira fraud, court fixes date to resume former Ekiti Governor Fayoshe's trial. On Pandora Papers, CSOs ask Nigerian government to go after culpable persons. But the Nigerian government has been pretty silent on this Pandora Papers revelations, even though many top government officials have been, past or present, have been indicted in it. But there you have it, some stories of interest from Premium Times. We have joining us now Honorable Olu Johnson Fatoki. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Nigerians.
Let's start with the midterm ministerial performance review retreat. I'm not sure if you caught it live on TV or maybe you've seen some lowdown from what transpired yesterday. But part of it is what the vice president said, that the Naira exchange rate is artificially low. And a few other things. And quoting him, he said, as for the exchange rate, I think we need to move our rates to be as reflective of the market as possible. We can't get new dollars into the system where the exchange rate is artificially low, and everyone knows by how much our reserves can grow. I am convinced that the demand management strategy currently being adopted by the CBN needs to rethink, and that is just my view. Many people have accused, the vice president of speaking like he's not a part of this government. Here he's speaking about a particular policy of the CBN, saying he doesn't see it as something that would work. But then Is this something that we should be hearing about? Should this not be something that it channels to the appropriate agency and then get them to do the right thing?
Let me first tell Nigerians the fact that the vice president, when he acted, maybe about 3 months, when the president was out of the country, if you remember, the value of Naira improved seriously against the dollar. So the mechanism used by the vice president, I think that is what is laying emphasis on. Nigerian government cannot print dollar. So the forces of demand and supply determine the price, the value of Naira to dollar. The value of Nigerian money cannot improve unless other factors are put into consideration. One, any country that is importing more than exporting will suffer. The currency will suffer for it. If you are not productive enough, you are not, you don't have goods and materials that you want to export to earn you dollar or to earn you foreign exchange, then your currency will suffer for it. And when you look at the insecurity and all those challenges, it's a big factor. So the vice president is looking at, from our view, is looking at the critical data, available statistics, and what to do to improve the Nigerian currency. If it is Nigerian money, you can, even if they print money, the value will continue to depreciate. But what determines the value of the currency is or are your foreign policy, your exportation prowess, and other factors. So the vice president, I think he's right. He's right in my own view.
Okay. But my question about him being a part of the government, if it were to be a Peter Obi, for instance, criticizing the CBN's policy, or maybe the PDP spokesperson, may be understandable. But
no. You are getting it wrong. If you're in the government, if the government is doing the right thing, or the agencies under your government is doing the right thing, you have right opportunity to comment. When an agency or individual is not doing the right thing, as a patriotic person, you can say whatever you want to say. You can express your feelings. The fact of the matter is that it's not the president. Indirectly, it's technically the president that is not doing what is supposed to be done. To give directives to the CBN. You remember, the former CBN governor have mentioned this severally, that people are making money, that they are becoming billionaire out of these sales of dollar. And he outlined solution to how Nigerian currency could be improved. But the government is not doing anything about that.
Right. But, I mean, the reason why, we use that comparison of Peter Obi and, maybe the PDP is that they are on the sidelines. They are not involved. They are not agents of the government, of the present government. But the vice president is ostensibly the second. Yes. And he chairs he's on the Federal Executive Council. He's for Economic Sustainability Committee. He has ample opportunities to tell the CBN governor that, hey, the official rate of foreign exchange is not reflective of the true reality of things, and that is a bad policy decision, and make him take action on that, as opposed to, announcing it publicly with perhaps little effect.
If he's the chairman of the economy team, he have that right, he have that opportunity, privilege to direct the affair of the CBN. But now it's not. And the president is only the president that can give such directives.
if the vice president decides to give such directive without the approval of the president, he might be reprimanded. If you remember, you know what he faced after the president returned, and some cabal just believe
he was trying to usurp the powers of the president.
So that is the point.
All right. Well, this story did not make front page, but it's worth a look nonetheless. It is a statement by the special advisor to the president, Femi Adesina, who has said that this present administration, the Muhammadu Buhari administration, has delivered quite well on its mandate to Nigerians. The headline actually reads, "Security situation today better than 2015, says Adesina. It said that this administration's performance was being assessed by an external neutral body and so far has been rated favorably. While fielding questions from the ongoing 2-day midterm ministerial performance review retreat organized to assess progress made towards the achievement of the 9 key priorities of the Buhari administration, Adesina said that the administration was on track in delivering on its mandate to Nigerians. He said, in some areas, we may not have performed well like in other areas. There were 3 main promises, and these promises were expanded into 9 priority areas. 1, we met an insecure country. We went at it, and there was some stability, and after a while, it exploded again and became Hydra-headed. Before, the insurgency was the only issue, but now banditry, kidnapping, and cultism came in. In all truth, can we compare the security situation of 2015 to what we have now? As of 2015, yes, it was only insurgency then, but the way bombs were going off like firecrackers in all cities, can we compare that to today? It will be disingenuous to say that there has not been improvement in certain areas of security. So his argument is that pre the Muhammadu Buhari administration, Boko Haram was a serious threat, and now they've been neutralized. Boko Haram was bombing several places. They've been neutralized. So do you agree with him that if you were to look at it that way, the fact that the Boko Haram threat is no longer taking center stage as it used to be, but now we have a multiplicity of other security challenges such as kidnapping, banditry, unknown gunmen, but Boko Haram has been, in quotes, neutralized to some extent. Would you agree that that means that the security situation now is better than what it was before 2015?
No normal Nigerian will agree with that. And I will explain. Even if it's one death recorded, it is insecurity. And before 2015, the Boko Haram issue was limited only to some part of the north. Basically, the federal capital and some few states. Maduguri. But when you talk of the insecurity now, it is all over Nigeria. Kidnapping, herdsmen issue, banditry. So what are we talking about? The additional that said it has been minimized, reduced or minimized, is because he has not been directly affected. Anybody that has been affected in one way or the other will know there is serious security challenges in this nation. Last week, minimum of 20 people were gunned down in Sokoto, and that is security is reducing. So what are we talking? I mean, maybe, I'm not surprised. Even the president himself still mentioned yesterday. Cataloging his achievement. He's talking about good road network. They've done well in transportation. He mentioned the railway line. He even talk about the security and so on and so forth. My serious concern is this: when either individual, group, or government admit that there is challenges, there are problems, and they promise to tackle the problem, we still have hope. But when individual or government is saying he has performed wonderfully well, and from the look of things, from the statistics available, you could see that nothing is done, or little or nothing is done. It implies that we should not expect anything better. No, that's the pronouncement is they have done well, and they're still doing well. And we are saying they're not doing anything. So where is the hope? There's no hope.
All right, let's check out some more stories now. And this one sits at home oats in Imo, Anambra, despite Southeast Governor's order. Police arrest gunman for attacking patrol team in Anambra. Despite the resolution of the governors, leaders and other stakeholders of the Southeast geopolitical zone, offices, businesses, streets and other concerns were shut on Monday morning in compliance with the 2-month-long sit-at-home protest ordered by IPOB to press for the release of its detained leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, by the DSS. And the sit-at-home on Monday had a profound effect on business and other activities in the South as well. It's starting to look like we eventually now have a government within a government, because IPOB keep giving these orders, the governors keep saying, don't worry, go about your legitimate business. But people stay at home, and it's, if you look at pictures, if you go on social media, it's usually somewhat total.
Where you have a functional and performing government where that people have so much confidence in, government will give directives, and that directive will be adhered to. But where you have unfair, unjust actions, and people are complaining, there will be agitations. When the number of people that are agitating, that are complaining, is more than people that are satisfied, then it portends danger. As a matter of fact, this government is encouraging thuggery, encouraging protest here and there, encouraging but issues that go against the policy of the government itself. When government give directives and people are not listening, what do you expect? The question is, if, for example, you are in the East and such directives is given, will you take a risk and go out? No. So the issue is that the government is not seriously in charge. We have security challenges, we have economic challenges, we have political challenges, we have social challenges. Insecurity problems cannot be solved if economic problem, political problems are still there. So those challenges have to be addressed in order to solve the insecurity problems.
All right. Well, this Premium Times headline reads, Buhari approves 13.3 billion naira for takeoff of community policing initiative. It says the president has approved 13.3 billion naira for the takeoff of the community policing initiative across the country, stating that the approval was part of measures to consolidate efforts aimed at enhancing security nationwide. In the president's words, we have, he also says that, this headline also says that the president announced that the Ministry of Defense had been instructed to create a modest military-industrial complex for the local production of weapons to meet some of the requirements of the country's armed forces, explaining that the establishment of the industrial complex would address Nigeria's overdependence on other countries for military equipment and logistics. Now, from the breakdown of the budget, we can see that security and defense actually took the lion's share of the 2022 budget. And now you hear the president saying that they've approved 13.3 billion for community policing and, also announcing the establishment of this industrial complex for us to produce our own weapons, some of them anyway. Are these, signs that this administration is ready finally to take the issue of security by the
may God spare our lives. If I understand what community policing is, when it was first introduced. It implies that the authority or the police officers mainly would be the indigenous of a state will be considered, of a local government will be considered to be at the police, police at the police station or whatever authority to operate. That is, they know the nooks and crannies of the environment, they'll be able to perform better. Community policing, it was then the PCRC was introduced. So there will be liaison between the police officials and the community. So now, if the government is now saying it's releasing that money, they still need to go further to let us know how the money will be expended. Is it on vehicle? Is it on stipends to encourage the PCRC, and so on and so forth? Because the PCRC, as at now, have been financed by the community. They raise funds themselves to buy vehicles. They raise money to provide security in the environment, and they work in collaboration with the police divisional headquarters in various local governments. I listened to a program this morning. Some people are, mistaking the pronouncement of the president to mean support for
state police.
No, not state police. Amotekun, vigilante. No, that is not the issue. The issue is community-based policing, where there will be adequate monitoring of officials. But the question is this: don't forget that we are getting nearer to 2023. By 2022, campaign will start.
Right.
And every government is looking for funds to do this campaign. Let's just pray that this fund about to be released is used for security purposes. You can remember what happened during the Dasuki issue. So that was during the former President Jonathan.
Dasuki gave
the fund that was spent.
The phone lines now. I see your messages on WhatsApp and on Facebook. We'll get to them shortly, but get across to us via the phone lines 0704 400 1067 0817 444 1067 0817 555 1067. That doubles as the WhatsApp line as well. You can drop us a message there. We've touched on the number of headlines. If you like to react to some of them, now you have the floor. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. Oh my.
Oh wow.
Seems we're having you speaking your call. We don't know what's happening, but try again. We'll keep trying. We have to sign out a bit early today, so you might want to get across to us now. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. What's up?
Good morning. This is Boyega.
Good morning. My name is Demola. I'm calling from Magbo.
Demola.
Good analysis. Yeah. Now, Nebufatoki, where is that money allocated for Ruga during Jonathan era? Where is that money, that ecological fund for state government? What did they do with it? The same thing will happen with this so-called community policing.
Demola, we appear to have lost you.
All that they're going to do. Now, on our economy, like the Vice President said, artificial. Who are the people paying?
Oh my, Demola, it must be the network, but we keep getting interrupted. Try and call us back, maybe. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Nicholas from Abuja.
Nicholas, go ahead, please.
The English word chauvinistic was a word that arose from a French word called Jean Chauvin. Now, Jean Chauvin was a French general who kept fighting even after Napoleon Bonaparte had stopped fighting. So the English wrote that word, they both different words and, comments in different words. Boko Haram attacked Abuja, fine, Suleja, some part of Borno and Co. Now, the entire 36 states have suffered from violence. The entire 36 states in this country, even to a place as far as Bomadi. Bomadi is a swampy area in Delta of Ugeli. Last year, May, 15 people were killed in. If I wondering where is the grass in Bomadi? It's a place I've been to. So, but sometimes I pity Femi Adesina. If you watch, Professor Gambari is quiet. Professor Shage is quiet. Femi Adesina, before he went to Asrock, was one of the finest columnists in Africa. But when I listen to him speak these days, I begin to believe in the demons that Governor Abati told us are surrounding the Asrock. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Nicholas. Have a nice day yourself. Keep dropping your comments on Facebook and WhatsApp.
Good morning, Splash. Nothing is working in this country, and nobody seems to be telling the president the truth among his aides and ministers. Let's get the phone line before we take the rest of the message. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning from Abeokuta.
Uche?
Go ahead, Uche.
Yeah, from Abeokuta, yeah.
Go on, please.
Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead. Oh my. Well, we don't know what's happening, but please do not give up on trying. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What is your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm David. I'm calling from Abeokuta.
All right, David. Good to have you. Go on, please.
To be sincere, when we talk sometimes, see, all these politicians you see, they have nothing to offer us, to be sincere. But I'm going to start this morning. I'm going to the issue of this issue of system. I see it the one I call in the registration. The Southeast governors, they don't control the market anymore. We don't listen to them. Those Southeast governors, they just don't look at our road in Southeast. Don't look at everyone.
Hello?
Southeast. So whatever it does, the people controls Southeast. People control Southeast. Like just forget about it. Someone will come and say that, like the woman will tell you that you should not go out. You should go out. You will not obey. You will really come and protest those people who is asking to go out. That's just it. Those governors, they have nothing to offer us at all. That is it. Thank you.
Thank you, David, for your contribution.
Let me take the rest of Olaolu's comments. This is actually Olaolu's first message to us on WhatsApp. Welcome to the team, or to the family, so to say. He continued by saying those of us that were shouting for the so-called change in 2015 and those that sustained it in 2019 should be happy now because we are all feeling the change nicely. Olaolu from Abeokuta. Hello, good morning.
Hello, yeah, good morning. What's up? Good morning, Mr.
Demola
back again.
This is Boyegan.
Yes, Boyegan, not Uzo.
Sorry, Lola.
That's fine. Yes.
That's fine.
Thank
Please
you,
go on.
Demola. Please go on.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Honorable Fatoki, what are the governors doing with their so-called security allowance? Who are they accountable to on those things? Do they audit those accounts? How will that governor now control IPOP? How will the people listen to them? Have they done the right thing to people? Now, to Eastern issue, they are creating demons by themselves. And I hope they can be able to handle it. Because it does a snowball. By the time it springs out, nobody can handle it. Like that Boko Haram. Up till now, Boko Haram has been asleep. The security situation now, who are the politicians that are bold enough to carry escort along with them and go outside, go out of that? Have they not come back to Abuja or Lagos? So I pray.
Thank you.
We know what we are doing. On the economy,
thank you.
The government has not done anything good at all. To wrap up the thing, they have not done anything good at all. Come to the market and see what is happening. Is it artificial scarcity? Is it artificial creation? Is it artificial things? They should know what they are doing. God will see us through.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Demala. Let's just race through the comments. We have quite a number of them. Surakat Abdulhamid Abiodun said the Vice President might have had a one-to-one conversation with the Mayfele without any response, and so the retreat presented an opportunity for Prof to make public his discussions with the CBN boss. It is a clarion call to Mr. President to do the needful unless he is also benefiting from this bad government policy. Osinbajo is a concerned Nigerian and he feels the pains of Nigerians, and that made him to speak out. He believes the problem facing this country is man-made by the leaders. Just like someone said, I can't wait for 2023 to come so that PMB will just leave the stage for a listing president to come on board. Surakat Abdulhamid Abiodun. Or is the Vice President trying to do a Pontius Pilate as we approach 2023? Wash my hands off.
This
I have no
administration,
answer.
I was
Your
a
sufferings,
I was a part
because
of.
it looks that way to me.
Well,
but
on
then,
Facebook.
Okay. I still have more here, 2 more actually. Mariam Balogun said, please, is EFCC, okay, she has included a name now. Is the EFCC chairman aware of the Pandora News report? Just wondering why he's so eager to nail bank executives. There's a story in the newspapers today of the EFCC saying that they would be looking keenly into the affairs, the books, properties of bank executives. I guess that's the one that Mariam Balogun is referring to. And Nicholas said Akpabio had to go and appease Tompolo in the Niger Delta. Now in the east, the people and banks obey IPOB than the constitution. The north is ravaged. Beans is costlier than rice now. Where is the security? Apostle Femi Additional is saying Ejo Egbamio. That's from Nicholas. Thank you, Nicholas.
Well, on Facebook, Mariam Lasisi Balogun is here again. She says, good morning, Lola Ngboyega. Please, the VP of Shibajo believes devaluation of the Naira is the key to stop further decline of the Naira. No doubt, the devaluation will force down the volume of imports and reduce the pressure in the forex market temporarily. On this administration and addition, I rest my case. It's obvious that Boko Haram remodeled itself to banditry. Why are they so eager to score and celebrate their achievements? 2023 is so near. Auntie Lola, you have relaxed on your INEC CVR campaign. I know, I'm so sorry. I promise I'll do better. As a matter of fact, if all goes according to plan, we are having the INEC resident electoral commissioner for Ogun State with us tomorrow.
There's a new man in this saddle.
We had the previous, his predecessor on Panorama a couple of months back, but now there's been a change of hands, and so we're having the new rec. So he's going to answer all your questions about CBR, PVCs, registration, or just whatever comment you want to make. Just make sure you tune in tomorrow with Benga and myself.
On Facebook, there's another message there. Adetayo Ademola Adeniro, and said, well done, Boyega and Lola. I love you guys. We love you too. Thank you. Just continue with your good job, and God will not stop doing good things in your life. I want to ask, is this how Nigeria will be looking at dollars to determine our life? And I want to ask Honorable Fatoki, is it possible for Mr. President to give Professor Osinbajo a few months to run the government, and let's see what will happen? Then concerning Additional's comment, I'm not surprised he's paid for this work. He was not elected. But I don't believe a reasonable Nigerian and someone who woke up from the right side of the bed will say this present government is better than previous ones. What I have to tell Nigerians is let's keep praying, because June 2023 is the total deliverance for Nigeria. Engineer Tayo Adeniro. Thank you very much, Honorable Olu Johnson Fatoki. We appreciate you. We have to sign out a bit early
Johnson.
today. Johnson
Fatoki.
Johnson Olu Fatoki.
It's Lola that wants to give me another.
I changed the syntax.
All right.
Thank you very much for your time this morning.
But there's a specific question, 2 questions asked by.
Well, we don't have time to answer those. Maybe next time when you come on, if you still remember. Thank you, everyone, for your contribution, for listening, for commenting, for calling. We appreciate it. Join us again tomorrow. My name is Lola Meduteni.
And I am Boyega Olani. Have a great day.
Panorama.
Panorama. Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
A wonderful morning starts with integrity. The integrity starts with you.
Splash FM 106.7.
Hi, folks.
folks, I'm Otto from Implicit Success Team. Are you an entrepreneur, a businessman or woman, thinking of starting a business of your own or having a side hustle? See, if you're tired of complaining about the present economic downturn, especially as you see others succeed despite the present Naija situation, my guy, no be everybody where they make and they do yahoo or jazzo. The difference between you and them, now the information where they get, where you not get for hand. Listen, this is not your regular way of improving your financial level. It's not your regular way of improving your finances because you are not giving your money to anyone or learning a new skill. You would be introduced to a simple software that helps you improve your earnings, serve as a side hustle or a main one depending on which one you want. Talk about passive income, Now, who know like better thing? To know more about this opportunity, just say hi to this number on WhatsApp. 091-2947-6154. Again, 091-2947-6154. You'll be sent a link with which you can attend a Zoom meeting 8 p.m. tonight. There are limited spaces available, so please take the step now and thank me later. Remember, say hi on WhatsApp to 091-2947-6154.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
I like talk radio.
Welcome to your number one talk radio station.
Fasten your seatbelts.
This is your favorite station.
Splash FM 106.7.
lẹ́nìkan bá ń bi mí ohun tí mo máa ṣe tí bá jọ̀wọ́ tó tówó gidi mo ronú mílíọ̀nù kan náírà àbí ìyẹn ò tún nǹkan kan rárá bóyá pẹ̀lú bíi 5 tàbí 10 mo lè.
mú àlárẹ̀rẹ̀ rẹ ṣẹ pẹ̀lú ìpolongo airtel recharge and blow níbi tí gbogbo èèyàn ti jẹ́ olúborí ra owó ìpè dójú àmì lọ́sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ kó o sì gbádùn ẹ̀bùn owó tó tó 100 mílíọ̀nù náírà. ìpolongo yìí ń wá sópin ní oṣù december ọdún 2021 fún àlàyé síwájú sí testa 444*4#.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
àlàáfíà lóògùn ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ló ní ìṣòro kan tàbí èkejì nínú ara oríṣiríṣi egbògi láti lò àmọ́ tí kò sí ìyàtọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni ọ̀pọ̀ ti jẹ nǹkan tó dùn lápọ̀jù èyí tó fa àkọlùkọgbà nínú ara lójú lọ́kọ̀lẹ́wòrán ti rùn egbògi tá à ń pè rẹ̀ rè Sharpman Bitter egbògi tí wọ́n fi omi ṣe èyí tọkùnrin àtobìnrin lè lò Sharpman Bitter ṣetán tí yóò já gbogbo jẹ̀gẹ̀jẹ̀gẹ̀ ara dànù lọ́gán lára bá yá yágíyágí Sharpman Bitter kànàkànà máa já tòun pẹ̀lú àgbékalẹ̀ iléeṣẹ́ olúwalúọpẹ́ tradu medical center NAFDAC fòǹtẹ̀lù omi pọ́nbélé ni wọ́n fi ṣe ẹ̀dá Sharpman Bitter wò lónìí láti kó lọ́pọ̀ yanturu ẹ lọ sí shop 33 ìsàlẹ̀gbẹ̀ shopping mall àti Gimlat complex Mọ́kọ́lá lálójúkọ Shalom hospital wọ́n sì wá alágbàtà káàkiri Nàìjíríà 081-7002-6620 081-7002-6620 Sharpman Bitter olúwalúọpẹ́ tradu medical center ló ń ṣe é.
ọ̀rẹ́ jẹ́ mú ọ̀rìnrìn àjò díẹ̀ kí n fọ̀nà tó fi donílẹ̀ ara rẹ̀ hàn pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn. The Way Homes and Properties lọ́nà náà. ilẹ̀ wa gba san díẹ̀díẹ̀ ó lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú 10,000 naira. a ní The Way